Once upon a time, in a village called Mantrelamari, there lived a man named Patea, who claimed to be a healer. Under the guise of a sorcerer, he exploited the villagers' innocence, deceiving them with fabricated rituals and superstitions. One day, a villager named Samaya fell seriously ill. Patea visited his house upon being called. Observing Samaya's condition, Patea feigned deep thought and diagnosed the illness as the result of an evil spell cast upon him. He convinced Samaya that the only way to discover the culprit was through certain rituals, which required a considerable sum of money. Desperate for a cure, Samaya agreed to pay any amount, even offering to sell his land to fund the rituals. Patea assured him that he would perform the necessary rituals and left the house with the promise of returning soon. Patea had deceived many villagers in similar ways. Whenever someone fell ill, he would falsely claim that their suffering was due to black magic, and that only he could cure them. He frightened them into believing in his fabricated solutions, collecting money, livestock, and other valuables in return. Over time, his deception led to suspicion and distrust among the villagers, eroding the unity that once bound them together. Despite this, Patea maintained a position of fear and respect in the village. However, two close friends, Ramaya and Kamaya, remained immune to Patea's manipulation. Ramaya was an intelligent and well-informed man, while Kamaya was simple-minded yet deeply devoted to Ramaya. Their unwavering bond and wisdom made them resistant to Patea's schemes. Frustrated by his inability to deceive them, Patea devised a plan to break their friendship and manipulate them individually. One night, he secretly placed poisonous castor beans near Kamaya's prized buffalo. By morning, the buffalo lay on the ground writhing in pain. Kamaya, terrified, sought the help of Ramaya, who reassured him that the buffalo had likely overeaten and would recover soon. Ramaya advised him to give it tamarind water and wait until evening. However, Kamaya remained anxious, as the buffalo was his primary source of livelihood. Sensing an opportunity, one of Patea's accomplices, Ranga, approached Kamaya and suggested seeking Patea's help. Ranga insisted that Patea had miraculously cured another villager's buffalo in a similar situation. Desperate to save his buffalo, Kamaya decided to visit Patea in secret. Without informing Ramaya, Patea welcomed Kamaya with a knowing smirk, acting surprised at his arrival. He pretended to hesitate, questioning Kamaya's trust in him. Desperate, Kamaya fell at Patea's feet, begging for help. Satisfied that Kamaya was now fully under his influence, Pa performed a dramatic act, plucking a hair from the buffalo's tail and reciting fake mantras. He theatrically showed Kamaya how the hair twisted in his hand, claiming it as evidence of black magic. Feigning urgency, Patea warned Kamaya that the spell had to be countered before sunrise, requiring the sacrifice of a specific black goat with a white patch on its face. When Kamaya expressed his inability to find such a goat, Patea cunningly suggested that Ramaya owned one. He insisted that Kamaya must steal it, arguing that Ramaya himself had cast the spell on the buffalo. Enraged and manipulated, Kamaya broke into Ramaya's shed at night, stole the goat, and handed it over to Patea, who promptly sacrificed it in a secret ritual. The next morning, Ramaya noticed his goat was missing, and soon saw Patea's men carrying its carcass. Realizing what had happened, he knew it was time to expose Patea. That evening, he visited Kamaya, who was rejoicing over his buffalo's recovery. Ramaya subtly questioned Kamaya about the missing goat, leading Kamaya to feign ignorance. Pretending distress, Ramaya claimed that he had made a vow to goddess Maisama that if his goat was stolen, he would sacrifice all his cattle to appease her. Hearing this, Kamaya was overcome with fear. Trembling, he confessed to stealing the goat under Pythia's influence and begged Romia to find a way to calm the goddess's wrath. Ramaya, seizing the opportunity, tricked Kamaya into further revelations and then exposed the truth about Pythia's deception. He demonstrated that the buffalo's illness was due to poison castor beans, which Pythia himself had planted. Shocked and furious, and a few trusted villagers hid in his courtyard, waiting for Pa. As expected, Pythia sneaked in, carrying a small clay pot filled with black magic objects to bury near Romia's house. The moment he started digging, the villagers surrounded him. Realizing he was caught, Pythia attempted to flee, but Kamaya grabbed him. Ramaya confronted Pythia, exposing his deception before the entire village. Under pressure, Pythia was forced to confess his misdeeds. Enraged by years of deception, the villagers delivered their own form of justice, pulling out his teeth and banishing him from the village. From that day forward, Pythia never practiced sorcery again. With their friendship intact, Ramaya and Kamaya restored peace in the village, putting an end to the fear and superstitions that had plagued their people for so long. Hello? Hey, hey.